Hey guys, welcome to another episode of We Are United podcast. I am your host, Richard Perkins, and I have a special guest with us today, as I do all the time, have special guests. I'm pretty good with that. But this guest is, let me go down your list here. She's a tax professional. Let's get that right. A tax professional, okay? She's also the VP for MANA. She's also a board member on the Chamber of Commerce and the founder of IV Youth Foundation, okay? And Cinderella Scholarship Program, all right? Welcome, Jennifer Rodriguez Godoy.
Thank you.
Welcome. How you feel?
A little bit nervous,
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
For some odd reason, people are always nervous. But guys, don't worry about it. It's a local conversation here. But what we are doing today is we're gonna shed light on basically who you are and what your role is when it comes to helping the community, which you're in everything, it seems. Is that correct?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, it's like I feel like it's important for us to help our local community, especially when it comes to the taxes. It's something that people don't like, and they're not aware of a lot of the rules or regulations. So it's like being able to explain that to them in something basic, because sometimes I feel like we make it a lot more complicated if I start throwing all these words and regulation numbers and stuff like that, versus just saying, hey, this is what it is. I feel people feel a lot more comfortable once they understand it, and they're like, oh, okay, this is why I'm doing this.
Right. That's definitely a true statement. I am one of those. I don't know too much about taxes and doing my taxes. I am one of those ones. I just take it in, have it done. Whatever happens, happens. I pay a lot some of the time. I guess different tax brackets, I guess. I don't know, but I end up paying a lot. I don't know why. But that's something I should probably come to you about, which I do know some of our people come to you as well, right?
Correct.
What I want to get into first is, who's Jennifer? Who's Jennifer Rodriguez?
Who's Jennifer Rodriguez? I was born in Brawley, and I was raised in Calexico. So I'm class of '97, Calexico Bulldog.
Bulldogs?
Yes, Bulldogs.
Is that how it goes? I would just imagine that's how it goes. Go ahead.
And obviously we're a border town, right?
Yeah.
So we have a different language. I feel we have that Spanglish, a lot of words that we made up here in the Valley that you go somewhere else and they're like, what is she talking about? And then even just the pronunciation of certain words or the way that we say certain things, I feel like it's a Valley thing. I love the Valley. I'm one of those people that never thought about leaving, how like sometimes
Really?
like, oh, yes, I'm that weird person. But just because I love it. I love the community. I love how small and big it is at the same time. I love the traffic part of it, where it's just like the cheap, or like they're moving a tractor versus like the cars in the freeway. So
Yeah. I mean, you can get from one side, you can get to Calexico all the way to the end of the valley in what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, if you're driving the regular speed?
Well, if you're from here too, it's like the other roads. Like, oh, something's going on here. You go this way or you go that way.
You
right?
know back roads then. Okay. That's cool. I don't know that. I'm not from here, but I don't know the back roads to get somewhere. I can say that if you can't spare 30 minutes to get from one side to the next, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But hey, if there's back roads, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you're from Calexico and you now reside?
I live here in Imperial.
In Imperial.
Correct.
Okay. That seems to be like a normal transition. People start at like the border,
And they start moving
Calexico, and they keep moving further, like what, east?
It's like super convenient because of my daughter goes to school in Imperial, right? So I take her to Imperial and then driving to El Centro to work. It's just like I have like a little circle, Target, like Costco. So it's like the little.
Well, we shop at the same places because I love both of those places. All right, so you were born there, went to high school in Calexico.
Correct.
I'm not sure if you know, but one of the guys that works here, Willie Moreno.
Oh, so I was the first class, I mean, if you want to say it like that, but we were the first class to graduate from Willie Moreno.
What?
Yeah, so.
Shout out to Willie.
age.
What's going on? We have another class member of yours, the first class to ever graduate. That's crazy. People
awesome.
come here and they're like, hey, this is Willie Moreno. And they're like, And I'm like, it's that Willie Moreno.
It was a new school. Like you couldn't chew gum, and if you chew gum, you had to pick up the gum with like a little spatula and stuff because it was a brand new school. You couldn't damage it. Yeah.
They made you
pick up.
Wow. Well, he's kind of the same way here.
Oh, okay.
he's the same way strict wise here, but it was a good thing though. I'm pretty sure if you're starting off that way. rules and regulations. So you're in
It
the
molded
right
me,
business.
yeah.
You're in the right business when it comes to tax preparation and rules and regulations and stuff like that as well. But before you became that tax professional, did you do anything else?
So my dad acquired a business that had to do with paint.
Okay.
He bought the franchise actually when I was born.
Okay.
So I grew up in the paint industry. We used to walk across the border, go to the stores. I would get the little like paint, and clean them up, and just be there at the store, right?
Yeah.
I'm the only daughter of 5 other boys, so I love being with my dad, and so that's what it was. It was pain. It was a lot of. I wanted to be a teacher at one point in time. I did the whole instructional aid, but then at that point, a little bit further on, I started helping my dad again. So I was older. I would go into Mexicali and work in Mexicali at his stores, and that's really where I learned a lot of the business itself, how a business runs, because we had like the inventory department, the accounts payable, the accounts receivable.
Right.
So I went through all the departments, and I feel like that gave me a lot of like, okay, this is what a business is. He was amazing when it came to business and his employees and the way that, like all the values, respect, like you have to be on time, respect people's time, you have to be punctual, and all these other things that I think were the basis as to who I am now.
Right.
And at one point in time when we got older, then he was like, hey, let's come to the States now, right? So we have a store on Main Street, Desert Paints.
Still to this day?
Still to this day.
Oh, okay.
But at that point, when we came here, my dad was like, hey, I'm paying a lot of money in my taxes. Like, why don't you go and do my taxes? And I was like, I don't think I can just do your taxes.
Right.
So there was this course that was offered by Block, H&R Block in Brawley. And I went and took the course. It was a little bit more complicated back then because you actually had to know the information. Now it's like you can do a lot of like the materials that you can use. But before it was like a lot by hand and doing the actual tax return where it taught you how to do it, right?
Right.
And so I took the course, and then it was like, do you want to apply for a job? And I was like, well, I'm working with my dad. But I knew that if I wanted the knowledge, I had to do the tax part of it, right?
Right.
And so I signed up to do the actual part-time job, if you want to call it like that. I fell in love with it. I love what it's about taxes. I know it's complex for a lot of people, but like I said, I feel like I try to explain it in a very simple format for people to understand. And I think that's where I started building that client base, because of explaining to them and saying, okay, this is what it is because of this, I always tell people, for example, your 25 return. I really can't do much about your 25 return because it's a done deal, but I can definitely guide you for your 26.
Okay.
So that's the way that I work.
So that's the biggest difference between a tax preparer and a tax professional, or what do you think the difference would be?
A tax preparer is someone that's going to do your taxes. I've heard a lot of times, I ask people straight out, has anybody ever explained your tax return? 90% of people say no, right? And so a tax preparer is someone that's going to do your taxes and be like, you're going to get this amount back. Thank you for your services. You pay here, bye. A tax professional, our job is to explain why. I'll give you a biggest misconception. It's like people will be like, oh, I owe money because I made a lot of money. No, you owe money because you didn't pay enough taxes in. You can make a lot of money. I don't think anybody has a problem making a lot of money, right?
Right.
But the IRS was intended to be a pay-as-you-go system. So I make $1,000, I give you $100, kind of deal.
Oh, really?
And so at the end, it was supposed to be like, well, I've been paying my taxes, but if we go exempt, if we get married, if we have kids, if we get a divorce, if we lose a house, if we buy a house, everything that we do throughout the year makes a difference on our taxes. And I think that's the part that people forget.
Even divorce?
Well, even divorce, because sometimes you get a divorce and you go through retirement, and half of that retirement is now yours, and you get that lump sum, things like that, or who's keeping the house, or, like there's a lot of factors that come into play.
Stay together, people, because their taxes could really get messed up if you don't.
There's a lot of factors, yeah. And what I mean by that is there's everything that you do throughout the year is going to make a difference on those tax returns, I
did not know that. Pay-as-you-go. It was a pay-as-you-go, so intended to be a pay-as-you-go system, but obviously not anymore, right? Correct. It would be super hard to do that.
But again, it goes back to the planning part, right? So taxes is a lot of planning. again, we have this misconception, like people remember Jennifer. Okay, I need to see Jennifer because it's tax season. Like, no, you need to see Jennifer when something big happens. So that's one of the reasons that I'm open throughout the whole year, because let's say something happens and you lost your job. Do I pull my retirement? Do I pull all of it? What do I do with it? You know? And sometimes it makes a big difference. Like you mentioned brackets, right? It makes a big difference. I want to pull 10,000, but if you pull 5, you can still manage, and then you don't go to that other bracket, right?
Get to the other bracket.
Or even people that retire and Social Security, right? They have Social Security and then they have a retirement plan. Well, their Social Security is going to be taxable based on how much retirement they pull. So I was working with somebody the other day and I was explaining that, and it was like, she saves a lot of money by just pulling what she needed this year and then waiting for the following year. It's a lot of planning.
Yeah. So when it comes to taxes, I'm one of those people. I do that. I go in. Here's my my tax forms. Like, I'll call me when it's ready. Yeah. Right. I pick it up and I just, whatever they tell me, that's what it is. That's how I've done it forever. I'm 47 years old, so I mean, I've been doing that forever. But you actually would you say, hey, don't go anywhere, take a seat, let me explain to you what's going on?
So I do, because again, a lot of people have never had a tax return explained. That's one. 2, a lot of people are like, I'm not going to understand it anyways. And I can assure you, you're going to learn something after I'm done. Right. So I'm a strong believer in that. Like, I feel like I learn something every day. Everybody's tax situation is very different. The clients teach me a lot more information sometimes because their situation might be something that I've never seen. So now I have to do some research on it. Right. Because that's the other thing too. I'm human. Like, I don't know everything. It's complex, right? But I'm also going to be honest enough to say, like, hey, I've never seen a situation like this, so let me do some research on it. Explaining the process to them is also going to give them a lot of peace of mind, especially when somebody owes. I go back to owing because that's when somebody goes into the office and they have a refund, they're happy. Great. They're like, I'm leaving. Thank you for what you did. Bye, right? Just give me my dollar amount, right? So that's it. But when somebody owes, it's like, well, how do we fix this? Yes. And how do we gradually fix it? Because sometimes we want to be very drastic, and they'll be like, okay, change it single and zero, and they're going to take the maximum out, and you're like, yeah, but then you get behind on your car payment, you get behind on your house payment. We don't want to do that either. So it's kind of like, I always give an example of like, us women, we're always worried about our weight, and we're like, okay, then you get in this diet and you're like, no soda and no chips for the rest of my life, right? And then you're on it for a couple of months, and then you're like, life happens. Yeah, and then you eat all the soda and all the chips that you didn't eat for the last 2 months. So it's the same thing here. Like, I'm not going to tell you to go and do something extreme, right? Where then you're going to come back and then now you're going to go exempt because you couldn't pay the bills that you were behind on.
How I don't know. I'm pretty sure there are tax myths. Right? They're tax myths, right? I believe one of those tax myths are 0 in the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year,
people go exempt.
Right.
So
how true is that?
Well, the idea behind it, again, is the same thing, right? So if I claim single zero, that means I'm not taking any deductions throughout the year. What does that mean? I'm paying the max that I can possibly pay. So in the perfect world, when that happens, and I say perfect world because then life happens, right? But in the perfect world, if you do that, you shouldn't have a balance because you're not taking any deductions out of it, right? So then you come and file your taxes, they take the max that they can take, and you're like, okay, you're good, right? But that's the biggest problem that people do. People tend to go exempt on the overtime checks, or people go exempt on the end of the year because of the bonus checks, right? Because you're like, I don't want to give half there. It's like, okay, that's fine. As long as you understand that by doing that, you paid 0 taxes. So that check that you got, that bonus check for 10 grand, felt really good
at the moment.
But now that you're coming and I'm telling you owe the money, you're like, why? And it's like, because you spent $10,000 you weren't supposed to, right? So sometimes it's more of a gradual thing, like you said, to see if somebody owes money. I'll give you an example. Like, somebody owes money, like you said, they've done single zero for 6 months, and then they want to do the rest of the months. And I'm like, okay, well, you're going to go exempt because it's one of those things that you're not going to stop doing. We're just being realistic, right?
It's going to happen.
So instead of doing 6 months, why don't we work with 3 months and see how our numbers look? Right? It's doable.
It's tax time, and that means it's time for your new Toyota. At United Toyota Imperial, you can use your tax return as a down payment, making it easier than ever to get into the most reliable vehicles on the market. We're making reliability affordable for everyone with new Tacomas for just $199 a month, or brand new Tundras for just $399 a month. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year, 25,000-mile maintenance plan. And when you come in for a test drive, spin the wheel and win up to $100. United Toyota Imperial. Tax time is Toyota time. Shop online at UnitedToyotaImperial.com.
And then you find an actual formula that actually works for you, right?
Because again, everybody's situation is different. There's going to be people that are like, no, I don't want to do that. I know I'm going to pay. And as long as you know that you're going to pay, then that's fine, right? But it's just explaining and understanding why you have that balance. A lot of times people don't realize too that if you've had a balance, let's say for example, I had a balance in 23. Well, when you do your 24s and you have a balance again, you actually get penalized. And you have a penalty imposed because the IRS is like, wait.
Yeah.
You had a balance due last year. We understand that.
Yeah.
But this year, coming around and you have the same situation and you didn't change anything, and sometimes it's minimal, right? It can be $40, it can be $60. But sometimes when you explain that to them, they're like, wait, no, I don't want to pay that extra. So it's like, okay, how do we pay enough where you don't get penalized, right? In addition to that is also the fact of like, we're not taught to save money, if we're honest, right? A lot of times people, if our parents maybe sometimes had enough to just pay what they needed to pay, there obviously wasn't any savings. So now that we're maybe have the jobs where we can have the retirement plans or we can do the savings, right? And that's another very important way to save taxes, but we'll get back to that one. But it's like, if I can do the savings, and if you have a balance due of $10,000 and then you have $10,000 in a bank account and you're going to pay it, that's the perfect world again. But the problem is that a lot of people don't have that balance. And so now you have a balance, and now you have penalties and interest accumulating from
accumulates
April.
And it stacks one on top of the other.
Another misconception, people say, oh, I filed an extension. You filed an extension to prepare your taxes, not to pay your balance. So as of April 15, your balance starts incrementing because of those penalties and interest.
Gotcha.
And so you keep on paying, we're back to the next year, and now you have to go exempt because you have to pay this. And so it's just like a domino effect, right? So how do we get it where we don't add to that balance from the previous year, and it's reasonable enough where you can make your changes?
So there are ways you can actually rectify that actual problem. You can fix it.
Correct.
You can fix it.
Yeah.
But it's obviously it's time, right? You can't fix whatever happened in 2025, even though you have to pay. You can't fix it. What you can do is say 2026, I won't let this happen.
Well,
again.
In addition to that, that's the other thing too. I always ask people to bring in their prior tax return because a lot of times, again, the IRS sends you a letter and you're like, you owe another $2,000 than what you thought you owed, right? And then people are like, yes, what? But then they pay it. And so I'm like, well, why did you pay it? Well, the IRS told me I had to pay it. Well, yeah, but what is it for? You would be surprised how many people we go back and fix or amend. The word is amend. I say fix because it's easier for people to say, right? Fix their tax return, and they end up getting some of that money back, either all of it or partially, because they just got a bill, they paid it, they didn't know that they weren't supposed to pay it because, wait, what happened here? If you don't file a tax return and the IRS files for you, they're obviously going to send you a bill too. But it's like, well, what about your dependents? And what about your house? And what about,
Well, you know what? I think it comes along with that. Once you do your taxes, let's just say if you're like me, you wait till the last minute to do your taxes, right? The tax preparer is no longer there when it's time for questions. Like, hey, you know what? Wait, what's this? What is going on? You get something from HR on your paycheck. You're like, wait, what's going on?
Exactly.
And then you're like, who do I ask? I can't ask. They're already gone. They used to be in Walmart.
Yeah.
I can't. They're no longer there. So what do I have to wait till next year when it comes back around? Does that make sense?
It does, because that's going back to the difference between a tax professional and a tax preparer, right? Tax preparer, I'm going to pick up and go. Like I mentioned, I'm from the Valley. People are going to see me at Target. People are going to see me at Costco, and they're going to be like, hey, Jen, I got a letter, and then they can go to the office. That's the whole reason why we're open the whole year, because you want to be able to bring it to your tax professional, because there's other businesses open throughout the whole year too. Like, go to the tax professional and tell them, I got this notice, what do I do with it? And then that person can guide you and explain to you what to do. But going back to misconceptions, right? It's like, IRS told me I owe it. Like,
do you? I'm that way. I'm that way. Like, if the IRS, that's because IRS is scary. I get a letter of IRS, guess what? I gotta pay it, because I don't want any problems, right? I don't want any liens, any kind of crazy deductions. It's crazy to, like, when you get a paycheck, it hasn't happened to me yet, but you get a paycheck and garnishment. Like, who's garnishment? Like, and you just like, where is this coming from, right? You don't know.
Well, you brought up a really good point. I try to ask people to bring in their last pay stub, because again, misconceptions, right? So if I ask you, did you pay taxes? You're like, yes, I paid a lot of taxes. Well, do you know how to read your pay stub?
Right. Do you know why you paid a lot?
Exactly. So And what I mean by that too is like you pay Social Security, that has nothing to do with income tax. Right? That's for retirement. That's when you get older. So sometimes you look at that number, you're like, hey, I paid this chunk. Yeah, but you'll get it when you're older, you know? And then you pay Medicare and you're like, well, who's Medicare, like you said? And it's like, okay, well, that's older too. So if we're able to read our pay stub and see, like, for example, like, what's my federal withholding? And it normally tells you, like, what you're claiming. Because then they're like, oh, I'm claiming single zero. And then you're like, no, well, here it says married and 99. You know, so it's like, then you can be like, oh, that's why I'm, you know, but if you're paying attention, because a lot of times you'll have clients that go into the office and they make the changes. We'll literally give them a W-4. They go to HR and they make the changes, but the change never happened. But again, how did you know? How did you not know? Well, you didn't monitor your paycheck. And to see, like you said, is like, okay, this is my withholding, and this is a number that we're playing with, legally, right? Playing with it in the sense of like, I would give you more, or I need to give you less, whatever my situation is. And the other very important part is we always think about taxes, about withholding, right? We've been talking about single zero and all this other stuff, but a lot of times we don't think about retirement. It's like, okay, if you have a retirement plan, that's the first thing you want to target. Ignore exemptions for now. Why? Because I make $60,000 in the year and I'm able to put $10,000 in my retirement. You just dropped your income to 50.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know. And it's like, how much are you contributing to your retirement plan? A lot of times people are like, I don't know. Does your employer match? I don't know. That's free money.
Right.
If your employer is matching your contribution and you're not maximizing it, you're losing. Nobody gives you free money anymore. Nobody. So it's
there's always something.
So it's like, hey, this is one of those times and your employer is, hey, you're really good at what you do. You have the benefits, like use them. Take advantage of that first. You know?
What should someone that doesn't know, the everyday person that works a 9 to 5, what's the first thing they should pay attention to when it comes to their paycheck? Right? Yeah. Because you see your paycheck, you got all these itemized things. What's the first thing you should pay attention to?
If they are worried about their taxes, it's the federal withholding. Okay. So on the federal withholding is how much money is being taken out. You know, like how much are they actually drawing? And that should give you a pretty good idea because again, you say like, oh, I pay a lot of taxes. Well, here it shows only $20. And it's like, what happened? Or again, life happens, right? You were married and you had 5 kids. So at one point in time, you might have been married and 7, you know? And it's like you had all those deductions and the kids started growing up. And then they started leaving the house. And they started working on their own. No longer your deduction. But then you're still with them, married and 7, right? Because you never changed it. So it's like, or going back to the divorce situation, right? Like you've been claiming married with your 2 dependents, and you got divorced, you left your W-4 like that. It's like, well, wait, why do I owe money? Well, you were claiming here that you're married, now you're coming to us and it's a single person with no dependents. That's a big impact.
Yeah. So mainly I need to pay attention to my federal, right? Is there a certain percentage that I should be looking out? Like, so if I make so much, they should take out such amount.
Right. And that's where you want to talk to your tax professional because there's other factors that is not just the withholding. That's just one portion of it. Again, households are different, right? Because you might be doing really good with your W-2, but what about your spouse if you're married? Is your spouse doing the same withholding?
Right.
You know, it's like a lot of other factors that come into place. The ideal thing to do is talk to your tax professional. And I'm sure that there are tax professionals out there that are willing to explain it. But again, a lot of times you'll have the client that's like, oh, no, I trust you. And I'm like, it's not about trust. It's about you understanding the concept behind it. So if something happens and you're like, oh, what is this number from? Like, oh, this is a number Jennifer said was my unemployment. This is a number that because I pulled my retirement, you know?
I would have to say a lot of times, I'm pretty sure you get it. I believe that a lot of people, well, not a lot, but you get some people that would actually lie to you about their happenings and stuff like that. And you're like, look, the more you tell me the truth, the more I can help you out. Because I'm pretty sure the IRS, they can investigate and find out.
Exactly. So I tell people all the time, like, you can ask your mom for money. She's probably not going to do anything if you don't pay back, right? As bad as that sounds. You can ask your brother for money. It's like you're asking the IRS for money. You know, like, that's not going to be
So
pretty.
Be truthful.
Yeah, because technology, right? We never had all of this years back. So the same way that we're able to have social media now and we have access to a lot of information now, right? It's like, it's the same thing. If we're evolving, the government isn't. Obviously they are, right?
So make sure y'all tell the truth because they will find you, okay?
And that goes back to like why you have to sit down with the client and have conversations with them, right? So for example, it's like you look at a ring, right? And they tell you, well, I'm not married. And it's like, okay, you know?
Well,
right. How do you word it or how do you figure out like that part of it, you know?
Right.
And it's like, it might be a widow and sometimes she might still have her ring. It might be somebody that got engaged, you know, like, but if you have an open communication with the client that you have, and you're having conversations with them, at one point in time, they're going to start sharing information with you.
That makes sense.
The same way that, like you said, is like you share information that might hurt them. Sometimes it's information that might benefit them, right? Because I might have somebody showed up, and it's happened before. Somebody shows up with a baby. Oh, it's a beautiful baby. Who is it? Oh, it's my baby. Oh, and you're doing the tax return. You're like, okay, do you have your baby's information? Like, oh, I'm not going to claim my baby. Oh, okay. And you ask, why? You know, it's like, oh, she was only born in September. And it's like, oh, what? She's still your dependent. Oh my God, I thought I had to have her the whole year. And funny story, that's what actually happened to my parents. My parents got audited back when I was born, and they showed up with me to the audit, and it was like, oh, what is that baby? You know, and it's like, oh, we can claim her? I actually saved my parents in their audit because it offset whatever they had done mileage-wise.
You saved your parents by being born. That's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool, right?
You know what, I want to touch on something, and because I know you're a tax professional, and you're known for that, but I want to touch on things like being the VP for MANA. Like, how did that come about? Like, what is that about?
So,
for people that don't know.
MANA the Imperial Valley, what I love is not just the empowerment of women and education and leadership. It's about helping, again, the community. So we do a big gala event. There's 3 women that get recognized in our gala event for doing something out of the ordinary.
Okay.
A lot of times it's people that have a nonprofit. It's a lot of people that give to the community one way or another. And it's beautiful to highlight these people that are a lot of times behind the scenes.
Gotcha.
A lot of times they're not out there taking the picture, or they're not doing stuff. And even sometimes you tell them and they're like, no, I don't want the spotlight.
Right.
But it's also about like, hey, no, this is something good because you're doing something good for the community, and you can get that people giving you donations and sponsorships because now they know who you are.
That's true.
Out of that gala event, we're able to raise funds, and all those funds go to scholarships for local kids in the community. So, which is amazing, the way to be able to go to one of those ceremonies. For example, I think a couple years ago I went to Hopeville, and to be able to be like, okay, I worked, because I was helping with the gala before, and it's like, worked at the gala, and then you see that like complete circle, right? You get it and you give it to that person, and you're like, wow, you know, it's amazing. And then you see them out there in the community doing amazing things, and it's like the highlight of it. I love the fact that we can help. Yes, we want to help everyone, right? But I feel like when you help your own community first, it makes a difference. It makes an impact. We're an amazing, beautiful community, and it's like, and it shows, like it shows how people want to help.
Right.
I'm a little bit more about helping the youth. Because again, we go back to the same thing. It's like, these are the kids that at one point in time
are going to be the community leaders.
I was thinking about, like, you're helping a kid, and that kid's going to be the one that's going to be doing open heart surgery on you, right? And they're going to be like, okay, we need to save them, you know, because they're going to be our doctors, they're going to be our attorneys, they're going to be our politicians, they're going to have all this,
tax
professionals, right? So it's like, it's amazing. And then just to see a lot of the programs that the Valley has when it comes to our youth that we're not aware of, and how much of an impact it can be on that child, you know, to be able to grow. It's amazing. I love MANA. I love what they do. I've been.
How long have you been a part of MANA?
I've been part of the board for 4 years now.
4 years. Wow. Now that's amazing. Another part, you're the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, that's what goes without any kind of explanation. Chamber of Commerce, in basically Imperial, which encompasses what, Calexico?
So Abbey Regional Chamber of Commerce is different cities, right? But again, going back to like helping the community, right? It's like the business owners, and no matter how big or small your business is like having that support. I love how, for example, they partner up with SBDC, a Small Business Development Center, and there's courses that they do to help the community. And I'm surprised those classes should be filled, because again, who does stuff for free?
Right, nobody.
Right? But it goes back to education and helping them. Now in March, there's going to be a class for QuickBooks. So
wow, okay.
It was like, you don't have an excuse, you know, like they're out there.
If you want to learn, you can.
You can go in and learn.
There's a way.
I actually partner up with them and do the class for like the tax updates at the end of the year. I help them with the QuickBooks class, and then just they have a lot more information. They did a class on AI, you know, like there's all this information out there that's helpful to the community. So I encourage people to look up Imperial Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce, to look up the Small Business Development Center, because again, it's Small Business Development Center is, again, no cost. And a lot of people don't know that either, right? It's like, I have their folders at my office. Somebody's opening a small business. Here, go see them. they can guide you in a lot of the stuff.
You can't. That's very, very powerful, because you're giving information for free, classes for free, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people do not know about this.
No, they don't. I'm surprised.
Let's be the first to actually put that out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got QuickBooks classes, which is something very essential, especially when it comes to business, right? QuickBooks is just essential, right? And all these other free courses. This is something that the Chamber of Commerce has put together. Am I correct?
Correct.
All right. So being on the board of the Chamber of Commerce, where can people find this information on these classes?
So for the actual setup of the classes, they partner up with the Small Business Development Center. So if they log into SBDC for the Imperial Valley, they're able to see all the classes that are offered there.
Gotcha, okay.
And they're able to sign up. Again, it's like there's no cost for it. They are able to do actually Spanish classes as well. So
which is necessary here.
There's the portal for the English and the Spanish. And so again, you don't have an excuse. You can't be like, oh, I only speak Spanish.
Right,
it's like
right.
they're willing to guide you. So if you log into the page, and like I said, most of the classes, they are at the chamber itself. But go in there, sign up, take advantage. There's a lot of free resources out there. I know we were talking about tax preparation, but it all goes hand in hand. Like a lot of these people that, like you said, we just have our regular W-2s, they have that little dream, like I've always wanted to do, this. And it's like, I tell people, if you like what you do, you're always going to make money out of it, right? So because you love it.
If you start an LLC, which is probably one of the first steps when you want to create an actual business, is there anything tax-wise that you have to do?
So
that you should do more than anything?
Again, they offer a class where we talk about, do you want an LLC? What if you want a corporation? What if you want it? You want an S or you want a C? We tend to go, again, we hear like the LLC and everybody wants to open an LLC, right? It's like, so it's like, why are you opening an LLC and for what? What type of business do you have? Or can you even open an LLC with what you're doing? Because a lot of times, like, you can't, For example, me, like, it's the services that I offer, I can't open an LLC. So ideally, you would see the other options you have and then make a decision.
On which one?
When it comes to taxes, it's funny because everybody knows how to do taxes. So you'll be like, somebody comes in and is like, but the plumber told me that you should be able to do this, right? Or the gardener said that you're supposed to be able to do that.
Or a guy that I work with, he sells 30 cars a month.
Yes.
He told me.
Yes. So get educated in the right places.
Right. Don't go to a barber asking how to cut meat.
Or don't go to TikTok. I love TikTok. Not that I have it, but I know people love TikTok. But it's like, I know, but I'm saying don't go to TikTok when it comes to someone that, because you'll have the people that have their license, right? That are the EAs or maybe a CPA giving advice, right? But sometimes we go to the regular John Doe for advice. That's what I mean. Like, there are the resources out there, right? Like, there's Facebook, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, but go to the right places. Especially because the IRS has Instagram, the IRS has Facebook, the IRS has a website, so it's like, don't get, even from me, because sometimes they're like, okay, with Jennifer, I'm like, wait, here it is in writing. And they're like, oh, I don't need it. Like, no, yeah, you do. Because it's not from me, it's from the IRS. So get the information from where you're supposed to get it. Everything's so accessible nowadays, right? It's like, well, get it from where you're supposed to get it, or look for the people that do have. Because I've gotten videos sent from me from TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, he's right. This is legit. We can do this. Like, oh, I didn't know this, So yeah, like there's sources out there, but be careful with the ones that are like, your mileage to go to the house and to go to take your kids to school, and it's like, whoa, wait, those are a little bit different,
I want to touch on one thing, super important. One of the reasons you are here is because there's a special that's going to be going on starting March.
Yes.
Starting what, Sunday?
Yes.
Right? Tell us a little bit about that.
So you guys decided that if somebody comes and wants to purchase a vehicle, we can do their taxes for free. And we're obviously going to be giving a little bit more information, right? But we'll be able to do their taxes. We'll have an office here. It's a private office. It's not like they're not going to be doing their taxes in front of everyone
in front
either,
of everybody, right?
It's a private office. We'll do what we do at the office, which is explaining the process. So you'll get that extra bonus of having a professional explain it. And then based on that, you'll be, hey, this is my refund. A lot of us do planning on extra things because it's refund time, right? Or it's money that we're getting back. So that's potentially when somebody can come and purchase a vehicle here, which by the way, I love my car. I got it in December. You guys are amazing. Love the way that I save so much gas on it.
Yes.
That's the biggest highlight for me.
Camry, right?
Yes. And then just coming here and being like, oh, I'm here for a service. And then just like, what, you guys aren't going to charge me? I love that. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, so if you want to be like me and save on gas, you come here, you get a car, you're able to say, hey, this is the money I'm getting back. And then you can say like, hey, I want to give this down payment. And then we work with the numbers so that you can.
So essentially you can use your tax return.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
To actually put a down payment on a car.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
That means for all those people out there, if you're looking, you need your taxes done, right? Come to the dealership. You're looking for a car, come to the dealership. They go hand in hand right now. This special is something super, super authentic. I've never seen it done, but we're telling you, come on in, buy a car, and you can get your taxes done for free. By a tax professional, not just by somebody that tells you like, oh, my uncle did this and this is how it. No, an actual tax professional that will sit down with you and explain to you exactly what you're looking at, and try to guide you in the right way. Get your taxes done, get a new car, and you can also use your tax return, right?
Yes.
As a down payment. Even though you're not going to get that tax return right then and there, basically it's saying, hey, you know what? I already know you're going to get that.
Yes.
We're cool with that. Once you get it, bring it on in, right? And you can take the car that day.
Yes, you can.
All right? Take the car before you even give that tax return. Don't take advantage of us, okay, guys? But that's exactly what it is. I think it's a great idea. Insanely great idea. Have you done anything like this before?
Not for a dealership, no. And so, but like you said, it's like, I think it's just the educating part of it and teaching people, not only like you said, like the advantage, you're going to get a car, but then you're going to get this added bonus, like getting the taxes for free with advice, and we'll definitely guide you for this year as to what changes you can make so that you can have a better outcome for the following year.
It's tax time, and that means it's time for your new Toyota. At United Toyota Imperial, you can use your tax return as a down payment, making it easier than ever to get into the most reliable vehicles on the market. We're making reliability affordable for everyone with new Tacomas for just $199 a month or brand new Tundras for just $399 a month. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year, 25,000-mile maintenance plan. And when you come in for a test drive, spin the wheel and win up to $100. United Toyota Imperial. Tax time is Toyota time. Shop online at UnitedToyotaImperial.com.
And okay, let's put that to rest. It's gonna be. I don't want people. They're doing it for free. We're paying.
Yeah.
We are paying, right? But the knowledge that she's gonna give you it's priceless. Like there's no price you can put on that because taxes is a lifelong thing.
It is.
Right? And once you have the knowledge of it, you can just use that knowledge for the rest of your life, right? So I think it's 110% the best idea I've seen here when it comes to cars. And I've purchased a whole bunch of cars, but I think that's a great idea. And I really applaud you for doing that. I really applaud you for doing everything that you do.
Thank you.
Last thing I want to touch on though, this sounds great to me. The Youth Foundation, the IV Youth Foundation, what is that?
So when we started with the Youth Foundation, we were helping with Pop Warner. Okay. So it's just one of those things, again, like how do we help the community, right? And to me, it's like youth.
That's it.
And I have kids too, right? So I have a 12-year-old, no, she's not 12 no more. I have a 13-year-old, a 14, and a 15.
You got to get that right, Mom.
And I have, because I'm like, and then I have a 24-year-old, right? So it's like, seeing all these other programs out there and being able to support them and support other youth, I love it. I love what we can do with the nonprofit itself. Now we're helping the Cinderella Scholarship Pageant Program. If I was part of Cinderella back then, I would have amazing interview skills and I wouldn't even be nervous sitting here with you. So that's one of the traits that I love about the program. So it's like teaching them how to speak in public and how to be able to interview things that we didn't.
Public speaking is it's not easy. Public speaking is not easy because you have things in your head, you have things in your mind, and all of a sudden you forget that because something distracts you over here. So public speaking is not easy, but you're doing a great job. Well, you've done a great job. Did you know we have already done 30 minutes?
No. Time's up.
It's 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
All right? We can take as much time as you want. But yeah, 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. How's it feel though?
Good.
Right?
It's what I do taxes.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Talking about what you do. It's more. I think it's more than what you do. I kind of feel like it's who you are. To be in the business for 20 what years?
25.
25 years. That's more than some of these people have been born that are working.
That's
here.
how old I am.
And that's crazy, right? So you're like the LeBron James of taxes.
Of taxes.
That's pretty awesome.
I love it.
But other services, go ahead and highlight for this to conclude this. Give us some other services that you do really quick.
In addition to the tax preparation end of it, again, we look at what the client's looking for, right? So then we ended up with business returns. Some of those business returns need the bookkeeping services. So we have bookkeeping services that go anywhere from doing everything for them to just reconciling, depending on what they need, right?
Okay.
Guiding them to the QuickBooks classes and all that good stuff as well. In addition to that, we have the audit assistance.
Okay.
You have a letter. It doesn't matter that you didn't do your taxes with us. You bring the letter in, we'll help you. It's so much like, it's just really bad when somebody gets an audit letter and they have no idea what to do with it.
Right,
it's
right.
like, I can't even explain how they come
mode.
in, But just being able to say, hey, let's look at this letter, let's look at these numbers, and being able to assist them is amazing. Like it's always that support that you're going to have for that client. And it's just in general, more than anything is the year-round service. Like, what do you need that has to do with taxes, and how do we guide you?
Right.
How do we send you to the right places that you have to go to and the right support, so that you can be okay with what you have,
You understand what you're getting. Hey, por la próxima vez vamos a hacer en español, ¿ok? Porque yo sé que tal vez, ¿qué dijo?
¿Qué dijo?
Taxes, impuestos. Ah, sí, eso es. But the good thing about it is that hablas español también. Lo puedes dar en los dos idiomas, entonces no se preocupen por eso, right? Just come on in. Are you able to provide those services as well? Are you going to be doing that here as well? Any of those services?
If they bring them in, yes, we can do that. Whatever they need.
One-stop shopping.
Yeah.
One-stop shopping here at United Toyota, partnered with
Desert Professional Services.
Desert Professional Services. So, hey, this was pretty cool.
I love it.
Very knowledgeable tax professional. And amongst other things, you're giving back to the community wholehearted. And that's what we want to do on this actual podcast, right? This podcast is for everybody. If you guys have anything that you want to promote and it has something to do with helping the community, come on in, get in contact with myself, get in contact with Raul. And we have more than enough time for you. Although we are busy, we will make time as a part of us giving back to the community. This is what we do to give back to the community. Not only offer great deals, but we're giving back by highlighting the most important part of this community, parts that some people don't even know about, right? So now, if you're looking for your taxes to be done, come here to United Toyota because you can get your taxes done for free once you purchase a vehicle. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a
pleasure.
very, 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 very nice interview, and you explained things that I didn't even know about. So that's pretty cool because I'm pretty knowledgeable about a lot of stuff because I'm very guapo, pero también bien muy inteligente. Okay, but still, trust me. All right. Hey, this is it. Another episode of We Are United Podcast. Thank you very much. Make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and every other platform, Spotify as well. All right? We'll see you around.